138th birth anniversary of a man who has left an indelible mark on our civilization. And although Gandhi dedicated his life to the cause of his own countrymen, he belongs to the entire humanity. His thoughts and principles have timeless relevance, but perhaps never more than at the present time when our world is mired in strife and conflict and bloodshed, anguish, retribution, and anger, not only amongst man and man or between men, group and group, but even amongst nations and nations. What is most remarkable is that Gandhi was not born a great man. He was just an ordinary man with all the failings and foibles of an ordinary man and no special talent. But he rose to great heights through sheer willpower, determination, effort, and a ceaseless pursuit of the truth. His humility and selfless sacrifice endeared him to millions in his own country, and indeed throughout the world. He commanded the respect of such giants among men and women as Nehru, Patel, Albert Einstein, Amrit Kaur, and Sarojini Naidu, and many more. He also inspired many of humanity's leaders to use non-violent resistance in their struggle against oppression and tyranny. To name a few, among them are Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela. It is also remarkable that nations and men against whom Gandhi waged his non-violent war felt neither rancor nor anger against him or against India. And when the denouement came, there was still goodwill and friendship. A testimony to this uplifting power of peaceful resistance is the presence of countless Gandhi statues around the world, including in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa, where he was first ejected from a first-class train, and in London, UK, the latter unveiled by Prime Minister Harold Wilson. There are also Gandhi statues in Washington, inaugurated by President Clinton, in the Union Square in New York, in Houston, and in Atlanta, the home of Martin Luther King, and many, many other places, including Saskatoon, Winnipeg, and the Quebec City in Canada. We hope there will be one life-size statue in Ottawa, the capital of this country. And we have, as a society, started to work towards that aim. It's really very gracious that the High Commission of India has graciously promised to donate or to work towards getting a life-size statue of Mahatma Gandhi to be donated to the city. The next step in our pursuit is, of course, to persuade the city or the NCC to give us an appropriate piece of land so that the statue can be installed, and then keep that statue as an asset of the city. I hope we'll be successful in that. That's what our short-term aim is, of course. Well, what was it that shaped the life of this remarkable man, Gandhi? Undoubtedly, religion was what provided him the moral strength and fortitude. He was particularly influenced by two of the great religions of India, Hinduism and Jainism. In Bhagavad Gita, he found the distilled wisdom of Hinduism. Introduction to Jainism came through his friend and mentor, the very pious and learned Rai Chand Bhai. In his autobiography, Gandhi states, "Three moderns have left a deep impression on my life and captivated me. Rai Chand Bhai by his living contact, Tolstoy by his book, The Kingdom of God is Within You, and Ruskin by his Unto the Last." Hinduism and Jainism shaped Gandhi's thoughts on truth, non-violence, and pluralism. Professor Younger will be speaking in relation to these influences, particularly about non-violence and truth and religion. But I'd like to take just a few minutes, to talk about the concept of what is called pluralism. Pluralism, or multiplicity of views, known in Sanskrit as anekantvad, recognizes that reality is manifold, highly complex, and pluralistic. Our view of reality is one aspect of it, based on our own beliefs and experiences. And there may exist other views and other experiences that are equally valid. The whole truth is, in fact, a synthesis of these experiences. The idea of multiplicity of views is well illustrated by this parable of 6 blind men and the elephant. They all touched the elephant. The one who felt its sight believed it was like a wall. The one who touched the leg thought it was a pillar. The one who touched the ear thought it was like a fan. One touching the trunk said it was like the branch of a tree. One who held the tail said it was like a thick robe. And the one who touched the tusk said it had the shape of a spear. They quarreled till a man who could see passed by and pointed that each of them was right, but their own experience was but one aspect of reality. The truth was in fact the synthesis of their individual experiences. The concept of pluralism or anekantwad fosters tolerance and respect for another point of view and a healthy spirit of sympathetic understanding, reconciliation, cooperation, and coexistence, as well as the freedom from cultural regimentation and dogmas. Try it in your home with your spouse. In Gandhi, this concept gave rise to an extreme Catholicity of view, in which it was not sufficient to merely tolerate or accept another religious viewpoint, but to approach it with a spirit of understanding, respect, and appreciation. Gandhi spoke frequently of anekantwad, and I'll conclude with a couple of quotes from him. Tolerance, said Gandhi, implies a gratuitous assumption of inferiority of the other faith, where ahimsa teaches us to entertain the same respect for the religions of others as we accord to our own. Tolerate is not enough. You have to pay the respect. He went on to say, my faith offers me all that is necessary for my inner development, for it teaches me to pray. But I also pray that everyone else may develop to the fullness of his being in his own religion, that the Christian may become a better Christian, a Muslim a better Muslim. I am convinced that God will not ask us what we are and what we do, not the name we give to our being, but exactly what we are and what we do. He observed, I very much like the doctrine of manyness of reality or anekantwad. It is this doctrine that has taught me to judge a Muslim from his own standpoint and a Christian from his. Formerly, I used to resent the ignorance of my opponents. Today I can love them because I am gifted with the eyes to see myself as others see me. My anekantwad is the result of the twin doctrines of Satya, truth, and ahimsa. Thinking men have come to the realization that Gandhian concepts of truth, ahimsa, and anekantwad must serve as the cornerstones of a civilized world. That if we could adopt these ideas, our world will be a better place. The Mahatma Gandhi Society of Ottawa strives in its own modest way to spread the awareness of these principles. Celebrations such as this provide one way of doing it. We also believe that the presence of a symbol in the form of a statue of Gandhi would provide a focal point, rallying support for the Gandhian ideas. And I mentioned to you earlier what we are doing about it. The society is making every effort to make this possible. It is also important to promote academic studies related to peace, non-violence, and respect for another point of view or faith. Towards that end, we are hoping to collaborate with Carleton University in establishing academic programs in these areas. And Professor Noel Salmon and the director of the School of Humanities are very supportive of this, and hopefully will achieve something in this respect. Thank you once again for coming to this celebration. I now request Professor Noel Salmon to introduce our speaker.